So hi guys, welcome to my channel. Tiffany, hi. It's so lovely to have you with us today. And today I'm doing something very new, very different, something I didn't even think that I would do. So the backstory is I made a digital product that its goal is to help young professionals and young adults and anyone who wants to build their finances just become better budgeters. And the team was basically audit, track like an auditor, spend like a CEO. So I built this digital product which I put up for sale on my LinkedIn profile, and it's available across all of my platform. But I decided to share the backstory and the idea behind it. So recently, I've been having series of conversations with friends, with colleagues on how are we going to go about budgeting our money. I've tried, it doesn't work at the end of the day. And in my head, I can't help but think. I read something last year and I think it has been helping me, right? Not so much because there have been uncertainties, which of course is due to my own failure of leaving room for errors, which is called the safety margin if you've read Philosophy of Money. And I was like, there's something I read in a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And if you've read this book, you'd know what I'm talking about. So I'm bringing out my old journal. So I had a thought, why don't I create a planner that would help every one of us? Like I said, I've had I read this book since 2014, 2024. So and that's what I used. I don't think it's since 2024, since 2023. And that's what I used to build my financial goal for 2024. Hence what you can see, how high can we fly? So it's really short. So I had this page of my financial categories. So I grouped my savings, my investments, my expenses, my needs, and my wants, right? So I didn't follow this to a T, and I didn't incorporate it in this planner because I didn't want us to be overwhelmed like I was when I had to do all of this. So I wanted to just cut straight to the chase. So before the walkthrough, this is January 2024. So this is my finances. I had this income, assets, expense, liability, and savings plan, investment plan. So why am I showing you all of this? This is just to show you. So February, there was nothing because I was still trying to get a hand of it and understand like, okay, how am I going to go around this? How am I going to go about this? There was a time I even had to write down a list of things like in written words on how I was going to use. So the struggle went on and on and on since 2024, and I have up until the last day. Yeah, I know you see that, but I usually make lists in all of my books. So say I have a financial plan. I always have financial plans. But once what I want to show you is that this net statement method has really stuck, and you see it very prominent in these pages. Later I got a hang of it. And that was why when I see that this is also an issue to a lot of people have this problem. I'm like, okay, did you say if you want to hide things from black people, put it in a book? Now I've read the book and I feel the best way to learn better is to teach. So I'm going to walk you through the track it, grow it, know your worth tracker that I have created especially for us. And this month, I'm trying to do my personal budget currently. So I'm going to walk you through. And I want to also put a disclaimer that most figures you're going to be seeing there are going to be delusional figures because if I can think it, I can have it. So if I'm just going to walk through with imaginary numbers, I might as well walk through with, gigantic numbers. You get the gist. But first, let me quickly show you Rich Dad Poor Dad. So we have the book. and I didn't bookmark anything because first, this ain't my book, and secondly, well, I didn't. But okay, so you can see from this page here, this is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert. So we have this is the cash flow pattern of an asset. So an asset is meant to generate income. Assets are income generating. I say assets and income are meant to be income generating, basically. So we have your assets meant to flow to your income, right? So when you have income, mostly for us that work in 9 to 5, rather than spend the income directly on assets, on expense, sorry, it's advised that you spend the bulk of your income buying assets, because this assets in turn generates income, and this income would give you several stream of incomes, right? So but the thing is, for liability becomes expense and it's out. It doesn't flow in. So here he was trying to portray the fact that asset brings income, expense goes out. So expense is basically liability, they're not yours, they go out. And so there's a lot. So it says, for instance, this is the cash flow pattern of a poor person, a young person stay at home. Basically, of majority of us, because we have a job, the job brings our income, and our only source of income is the paycheck, right? So we use this for our taxes, food, rent, clothes, phone, transportation, and just out. And some of us even incur liability, more expense, and this liability becomes more expense to us than it goes out. You have to know liability expense, they are not yours. They are not what you own. They are what you owe. So it's going out. So now this is someone in the middle class. And I think I just briefly touched on this. The difference between the middle class person and the poor person is the middle class is aware of the fact that he has credit facilities. So as such incurs things like buy small loans, mortgage loans. We have fair money propaganda going around. So the person is aware of all of this and thinks he has the, well, I say, the leverage to take this. But rather than taking this income and this liability, sorry, and getting your assets, the middle class person just use it to incur more expenses, which is what I spoke about earlier. I want this to be a very brief video. Then we have so these are examples of the type of liabilities. And I want you to check out my LinkedIn page because I already did a very wonderful job explaining that. So now this is the cash flow pattern of a wealthy person. I'm sorry I have to say this, but please, let us try to read. Reading is good. Like, I'm currently reading this, and a lot of people are not. I'm reading this. I'm reading this. I may not be there yet, but trust me, I'm better than where I'm coming from. So that's just by the way. So now, this is the we already spoke about this earlier, so I'll quickly jump onto this. So because you bought assets, what are assets? Assets that can generate income for you. You have investments, you have rental income, you have royalties, then you have dividends, right? If you buy stocks, you have dividends, interest on your treasury bills, all of that. So now, okay, here you have it. So when you have your income, let's say as a 9 to 5 hours, that I know that is mainly my target audience, and we're trying to, or a business person that you are trying to build your wealth. So you have a source of income first. That's your job. So I want you to imagine the way this brought you to this job here. I want you to imagine it here. So you have a job. One of the source of income is now paycheck. So majority, the goal is to channel majority of this money to buying things like your stock, your bonds, notes, real estate, intellectual property, learn a skill, because when you learn a skill, you can charge for the skill. Then you can have freelancing here as a source of income. Then over time, it's I receive dividends of like 100 naira. It's not material, but I'm very glad because I know over time, if I keep on accumulating stuff, one day I will receive dividends and it's going to be over like 5 million, right? So that's just the way it works, the power of compounding. So this is the cash flow of a wealthy person. I'm just going to quickly scan through, just see if there's anything I can quickly explain. So basically, he really, really, really spoke about financial literacy. I would really encourage you to read the book. Or if you want, I can do a review, a detailed review of the book. Right? And here he made an analogy because the book is rich dad poor dad. So of his poor educated dad, this was his net, let's say his financial statements, financial statements. So he has his income, his expense, his asset, his liability. Notice how the liability is greater than the asset. But for the rich dad, he has his income weighs above his expense, his assets more than his liability. So you can see. So this is why the rich gets richer because whatever they spend is going coming back, back because they pass it through this assets link. So yeah, I think that's all. Just let me know if you'd like a more detailed review, and yeah, that is it. So let's quickly jump right into the tracker. So guys, when you buy this templates, your net worth statement template, this is my personal copy. This is what you would have, an Excel. So this Excel is reusable, it's editable, and it keeps advancing. So if you can take out of this. Basically, I'm not hiding it from you. You can take out of this and try to build yours, but I feel like I already put in the work to help you overcome that first stage, because a lot of us feel stop at planning. We give up at planning, and that's what I've helped you do. I've helped you design this so that you just move on to the next step, which is allocating and, let's say, determining your financial goal, budgeting, and just straight to work basically. So, how to use templates? Kindly read through before using. I don't think I'm going to read this because you would see it and you would read it, but please, please, please read through this, because what I aimed to achieve here was to tell you how important it is for you to stay consistent, for you to not touch the graded areas because they have been formularized, and you should not edit them. And also, if you need help, feel free to reach out to me. So our first sheet we have is our financial goals. Like I said, I started filling this already with imaginary numbers just to test that each table is working. I'm going to walk you through this. I hope you're seeing this clearly. Okay, so first we have our goals name. So like I said, it's editable. Let's say I have another goal, and the goal is, so what goals have I not included? Because we are all different. We may have a different goal. So I have rent, retirement, others. Let's say I have a goal towards, maybe probably I'm saving to buy a phone, because there was a time that was my goal. So let's say I'm saving to buy a phone. So bear in mind, I just added this. So meaning there is no cell for this. And if you read through this, you'd see manually fill every column apart from amount saved column. It is linked. Fill the weekly and monthly targets, and it automatically populates the amount saved column, meaning you have to fill this. So I'm still going to walk you through that. So you have to know that for this month, we're currently in the month of July, sorry. So for August, I can duplicate the sheet by just coming here and clicking create, move to the end, create a copy. I can change the color. I can change the name just so that it's a visual representation of what I actually want. I can make this August. You see? And I can come here and make this August. Once I fill that August, you see that every single thing has updated, right? Okay, good. So that's why it's very good for you to read the notes. I think I'm skipping the notes because I really want this to be a short video, and I was the one that created it, like I said. So back to this July. So now I imputed some very interesting numbers in Naira. And okay. So we're going to, this is your goal name. Okay, yes, I was talking about fonts. So what you're going to do now is you're going to edit anyone that you know that um, you're currently not saving towards during this month. So let's say for this phone, I want to change others to phone. I can just change this to phone. Then my goal is to save, say, weekly, right? Okay, I think what I will do is to just do this. So let's see my goal. Basically, as a 9 to 5, I believe most of our goals is to save monthly. But if you're a business owner and have a side business at the end, you can use the weekly. But regardless of whether you're saving monthly or weekly, I want you to know that these sheets are linked. So it requires you to start from the weekly savings target to the monthly savings target. So here I'm going to say my annual savings. Let's say every month I've decided to save 100K. So I'm not saving weekly because I'm a salary earner, right? So I would put it here 100K in the fourth week because this 1 million naira, like I said, dream big. So see how it manually populates here, meaning that these graded areas are all linked. So for these plain white areas, the clear areas, you can put in your targets, like it says here, target amount. Let's say my emergency fund is for emergency. I can just put 10 million naira because there's no deadline to an emergency fund. Then I've not saved any. Okay, so just for consistency's sake, I'm going to follow through with this. So our goal is annual savings. Our target amounts can be whatever. Let's make this 40 million because, like I said, 400 million, even better. So far I've saved a million. Then start date. Let's say our start date is July. Today is July 21st. So 1st of July 2025. So we have that. Let's see, my goal is to save this annually. So as at the 1st December 2025, I should have this in savings. And I said my saving is monthly, like what it has here. Monthly, is it monthly, is it weekly, monthly. Notes, annual savings, just annual savings, right? So annual savings. Then here, this is a drop down button, so you can pick. It's usually it comes like this. Then you select. If it's completed, it shows green. If it's not started, say I've not started on this goal, like for emergency funds, where I'm sure I've not started at all, even personally, outside the analogy, I know that would be red. Then for this is in progress because I started saving something, right? So then you follow through like that with every item. So it's advised, I would advise that before you start making any edit of on this any of the sheets, you can just make a duplicate copy. You can save it in two places. So you have an unedited version, then have an edited version. Just so in case you mess up anything, you can always just go back to the original version. And that's the beautiful thing about this Excel is the fact that you can do almost everything with it. Okay, so I think I'm done with this sheet. So for the notes is basically for clarity's sake. So if you're selling for a car, which car in my case, GLE 63S Coupe. This car backstory is due strictly by influence. So that is all for this sheet. So we're going to move to the next, not started. Yeah, basically. So we're going to move to the next sheet, which is the budgeting sheet. And this is a very simple sheet, and I think, or I know, and like I know you would agree with me that it's a very simple sheet. So I listed out a couple of category of expense that I think cuts across every one of us: students, young professionals, adults, family members. You know, this is just way to budget your expense. So let's get an expense sheet. So just seeing these figures here, bear in mind these are graded cells. Graded cells are formularized, do not edit. And these cells, these numbers are flowing from the goal sheet. So if you see here, it's flowing from here and it's flowing from here. Okay, so what do you do here? In this place, you track your budgeted amount. Salary, which is around the corner, and let's say a budget that I'll spend for my bills and lights and all of that should be around cost say 10K. So 100K. I'm big like that. So anyway, when the actual bill comes and I actually spend 90K, bear in mind, not 900, but forget. So bear in mind that it's advised that you duplicate the sheets just so you can replicate it month to month. So now I know there's a difference of 10,000. This 10,000 naira can be a savings to me, and it can help me track my expense. Most times we need more income, I would not lie. But most times, if you can actually track your expense, this particular sheet here, you'd be able to save more because you'd be surprised at how much you actually spend on a lot of things. So on outings, good you budget before you actually go out. And after you go out, what are the actual amount? So this sheet is, like I said earlier, to help us track our real-time expenses. And you can also edit the categories I have here to fit your own lifestyle and what you have going on for yourself. So you're going to move on to the last and final sheet, which is your personal financial statement. So on this hand, we have our income, total income, our assets, our expense, and our liabilities. You're seeing some numbers. Remember, they are linked. Do not edit. They are definitely flowing from the other cells, from the other sheets. So for salary, let's say, like I said, I earn 1 million. Then for my investment, I have income on investment 5 million. That's cool. Then income from side businesses. I plan to have side businesses. Hopefully, I should be able to get like 3 million from that. Then cash gifts, because I'm a baby girl. Let's say I have cash gift of up to 3 million. Doesn't matter, just write them. So now I have total income for the month of July is 12 million. Amen. So we have next, these are apps that I use for my investments, and they are mostly my assets. I'm not saying all assets has to be investment. Investment is a type of asset. So assets are generally things that gives you future benefits, where there are future benefits flowing from. So I have I use Afroinvest, Rise, and I have some of the app equities. So let's say Afroinvest, I have like 1 million, this 100K, like 1 million in investment. Rise, say have like 500K in investment, and off the app, say I have 300, 3 million. Gonna make me okay, just so we are structuring ourselves in it. So for this expense, what actually flows here are your actual expense that have already been linked. So if I fill every single thing from here, so let's just put random figures. Let's just say I feel okay. So with that, I should be, yeah, back. So like as you can see now, all your expense have been populated because of the it records your actual amount from this sheet. So now back to your financial statement. Then let's assume I took a loan of like a million, 10 million. Let's assume I took a loan of 2 million. Let's just say, because given my tax brackets on this illustration. So I have all of this. So that's something. Okay, so basically I'm done filling this, and please fill this with your real numbers, because and insert your month name here. So we're in July. I would edit this to July. Okay, already this to July. Okay, we have it July. So we have this table by the side that tells you this is your net worth. This is my net worth as at July. This is what I'm currently worth. So, and as at my net cash flow is telling me that I had so inflows and this outflow. So meaning I'm still in a very good position. So last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up this walkthrough is your assets. So remember I said we are going to duplicate most sheets for month to month, especially this sheet. But when you are filling your asset legs, because this tab, this box is not filling from anywhere, you have to manually input it. You have to accumulate. So you're not just going to bring the asset you bought that month. You have to also accumulate all the assets you've had up until that month. So I'm assuming that this investment I have in Afri Invest of 1 million naira is the investment I've had in January, February, March up until July. So in August, let's say I bought an investment of I bought stocks worth 500k, right? But then I just put in 500k when it's July like this. What would I do? I'm going to put 1.5. So that's going to be when I'm filling my August sheet. So it's very simple. I didn't want to bore you. I wanted it to be easy to access, easy to read. You can reach out to me, leave your comments here, reach out to me on LinkedIn. The link to the templates would be in the description box. Everything you need to know will be in the description box. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Check out my LinkedIn page because I explain a lot about your assets, accounting entries, and how it can help you. And this is my little gift, and I'm giving it out for a little token just because of the time I spent to, put it together. So do like, share, and follow for more. So bye guys.